Well, shall we get more on this now with Alex Petropoulos, the political commentator with Young Voices UK. Alex, what do you make of this? Clearly, farmers feel like they're being really hard done by this government.
Yeah, I understand how they feel, but the way I see it is this is just them having to play under the same set of rules that everyone else does. And frankly, I don't have too much sympathy for farmers who are inheriting multi-million-pound inheritances, complaining that they're going to pay some, not even the full amount of tax that regular people pay, but some tax on it.
Yeah, but Alex, they're not going to have those farms for very long, are they? If they're taxed 20% every time the owner of that farm dies, I mean, you'll lose the farms in a matter of a generation or so.
Well, I disagree because, you know, they built up those farms in the first place. Those farms didn't come from nowhere. They didn't appear out of thin air. Many of these farmers built up and bought more land, and they were very smart with how they chose to spend their money. And there are lots of different financial instruments available to people. You know, you can sell parts of it. You can decide and find all sorts of different flexible ways to get around it. And, you know, the government has said you can spread out the payment over 10 years, it's interest-free. There are lots of tools at their disposal, but at the end of the day, it is a multi-million-pound inheritance by people who, you know, they didn't work for it.
Only if you sell it, Alex. Only if you sell it. And you're essentially asking these farmers who use their land for the benefit of all of us to sell their property to pay a death tax to the government. Don't you see the problem there?
Well, you don't necessarily have to sell it. There are different ways. You could sell part of it. You could go into an agreement with a bank. You could say, you know what, you will own a percentage of my farm, and maybe you get a percentage of my revenue, and we'll give you a bunch of money for that, and that will help you pay off this tax. You know, you've got a 10-year period to do it as well. It's not this black or white, you know, the government's going to seize your farm the instant you die. There's a wide range of options.
There seems to have been a political choice that has been made for generations that has been perhaps unmade in the last budget, and that is that there is something intrinsically of value to the country about having family-run farms that aren't, you know, the massive sort of hyper-efficient style farms you see in, you know, Australia or New Zealand or Canada, but that are sort of making a product that perhaps is less viable in an open market. And so we do provide tax incentives to maintain that sort of land custodianship, that tradition within our agricultural communities. Now, it's a perfectly legitimate political choice to say we should stop subsidising that. I mean, it'd be a more rational market if everyone was, you know, paying the same level of tax. But that is a political choice, and it doesn't seem like the government is being honest about whether or not that's the choice they've made.
Yes and no. I think, you know, there was that recent piece in the Financial Times saying, you know, Britain says it wants growth, but then acts like it doesn't want it. I think this is an example of Britain actually saying, yes, we do want growth, and we're going to put our money where our mouth is, and we're going to, you know, take the trade-off. And, you know, the trade-off, I think, isn't being portrayed fairly by the farmers. They're saying, oh, this is unfair to us. They have to tell the British people, the choice is we pay inheritance tax or you pay more for your food because we're less efficient. Like you said, like those really efficient big companies, they will deliver cheaper food, cheaper groceries for British people that are, you know, suffering under cost of living. So
well, you're only hastening their demise, Alex. You're only hastening their demise. But we've got to leave it there. Alex Petropoulos, political commentator with Young Voices. You put your point across. It's perhaps an unpopular one, but well done for putting it across nonetheless. I just think family farms are special.